Alright, so hey black women, I just wanted to show you a bit more. This is my continuation of my videos with trying to get young black girls to dismiss all this relationship nonsense, censor themselves, work on their own lives, and when they're done enjoying themselves, then you worry about marriage and relationships if you choose to go that route. If you don't, live your whole life enjoying yourself, girl. It is so much stuff in this world you can do that for and with to make yourself feel fulfilled and have a great life. It's nonsense the way they try to keep, when I say they, I'm going to be showing another clip from Ebony K. Williams when she was on the Breakfast Club, because this is the second time she's done this. She's come on to the Breakfast Club to double down on her, whatever the message is and the point she's trying to make from the message. And at this point, I have realized that she's just doing this for shock value. She doesn't really care about the message. All this stuff is to keep her relevant, keep her show relevant, keep her in the mouths of everyday people so that her podcast still makes money. Everything related to her that's entertainment wise is still bumping, still popping. This is all marketing at its fucking greatest. I'm gonna tell you that. I didn't realize it until today, but when you go watch that entire interview with her on the Breakfast Club, there's a portion there where she actually tells you that this is all publicity for whatever she's doing. She doesn't directly say that, she indirectly says it, but she's full of shit. Okay, and the bottom line is she's using shock value to attract you, keep your attention, and keep you hooked into what is Ebony gonna do next? What is she gonna say next? You know what Stephanie says next? Cancel Ebony. Cancel Ebony and every other content creator, woman, celebrity, whomever that is trying to feed you relationship and marriage doctrine. Because guess what? I happen to be listening to the Breakfast Club's interview with Ebony K, and I like that actress a lot. Her name is Tessa Thompson. You guys remember the black woman from Creed, and the wife from Creed, the black woman from Men in Black. Y'all know who Tessa Thompson is, right? She also played in Thor. I really like her. She has a huge portfolio of work when it comes to her films, right? In particular, there are 2 movies that Tessa played in that speaks perfectly and poignantly to what Ebony K is trying to get black women to feel like they need to take advantage of, or that they have been somehow left out the loop when they have not. Basically what she's talking about is when black women are in school and they're supposed to be this black elite, where there really is no such thing as black elite. Because when you live in America and you're black, whether you make a certain amount of money or not, white people hold the control over the purse strings to your money. So if Ebony, even as salacious as she's trying to be, if she says the wrong thing that offends white people, or she gets black people really, really upset with the stuff she's saying, and it is such a backlash for what she's done, they will shut her show down. And she'll have to find another way to make her money. Okay? So when they talk about elite, there's no such thing. And that goes back to W.E.B. Du Bois when he was talking about black people and the talented 10th and the black elite and his bourgeoisie bullshit, right? It doesn't exist. But what does exist is the very long history of black women going to school, going to college in America, looking for husbands. This used to be a tradition in America with black women, the same as a coming out party. And what else did they do for a long time? It was always done all over the country. It was the coming out. It was going to college looking for a husband. Oh, and lying about your children, calling them your younger brother and sister if you were a teenage mom and you got married outside of that child you had out of wedlock. For all of you guys that have family down south like I do, and who originate from the south, and you migrated up north the way my family did, and I did, that was a very real thing. Like a lot of southern women who had children down south, or who had actually been married and left their husband down south, when they came up north, all of a sudden they didn't have any children, they didn't have any husband. They were just these carefree women that were looking for the same type of husband she's talking about. And getting back to my girl Tessa Thompson, her story, no, not her story personally, but her character story in both movies, both Passing, when she's a black woman passing as a white woman, her and her childhood friend from the same area she grew up in, and in another movie she played in that was like so freaking beautiful. If y'all did not see this movie, please watch it. Black Love Aside, that was a beautiful goddamn movie. It had black women empowerment in it. It had the transition of Tessa's character going through young girl transition into full bloom womanhood in what it was, Sylvie's Love. Yo, I love that movie. Is one of my favorites. Okay, I'm gonna watch it again this weekend. She went from a woman that did exactly what Ebony's talking about, right? Marrying some dude she met in college because that's what she was taught. Because believe me, Ebony ain't telling you something that's new or that people just got wind of. My grandmother was told that. My mother was told that. All right. My grandmother's mother was not told that, because we were still back in those days of like really bad situations in America for black people. And I'm talking like the 1800s. Like that was when my grandmother's mother was born. She was born in the latter part of the 1800s, right? And my grandma, she was born in 1919, right? So you see how long ago, well, it ain't that long ago, how I'm gonna just use how long ago it was that this was something that black women were doing all the time. And it didn't really matter if they were going for really prestigious degrees, because the majority of black women back in those days, they were like one of three professions. The majority of them were teachers. And there was a time in this country when to be a teacher, you had to be an old maid. Like you couldn't have children, you couldn't have a husband, then you could become a teacher. Then it changed to, yeah, you can have a husband, you can have some kids, because nobody wanted to take the job, all right? Then they had black women that were doctors. There was a whole slew of black women who were doctors, every type of doctor you could think of. Dentist, this doctor, that doctor, and the other doctor. You know why? Because medical school wasn't the way it is now. They were very ignorant back in the days, and you can get a medical degree and go through medical school sometimes in 2 years or less. It was totally different. It wasn't as rigorous as it is today. But to get to the point, what was it? It was medicine, law. And also people went to school to be lawyers. Like it was like a hat. Everybody put on a hat, everybody went to school to be a lawyer. So she's not talking about anything that's new. She's just trying to use it today to make it seem as if it's something the rest of us haven't caught on to. And you don't want to be the black woman that's left out, where you got all these black guys online and all over the internet and in real life, celebrities talking about how they don't date black women and we just the worst of the worst, we just the devil's spawn, and every time we look at somebody like their version of Medusa, which is not the real story of Medusa, because Medusa was actually a princess, and it's a real story of Medusa, the one you learned about her being able to zap people and turn them into stone. That is completely made up bullshit. There was a real woman named Medusa, and her story is quite beautiful. Take the time to learn it. Anyway, this is how they're making us out to be. Like we're living, breathing dragon women, right? Nobody would want to ever be with us. Ooh, child. So anyway, it's not new. It's not a new concept. Actually, it's so old of a concept and so boring and also so miserable and also so dangerous and also so time consuming. And goddamn, I wish I never would have did that type of consuming. Black women stopped doing it. My grandmother was taught to do that in school. Okay, she did it All her sisters were taught that. They did it. All right.
Experience that looks a bit different. Not vastly so, but a bit different.
I agree.
And my peers who are 40 and up are like, I wish someone would have told me. And the fact that you are doing the labor, Ebony, you are doing the service of letting young girls that are currently in position to put themselves in best practices because they are currently in school or graduate school or shortly thereafter matters. And it's good that somebody is rolling up their sleeves and doing the work and having the conversation publicly that, quiet as kept, many pockets of Black elite culture are having with their children generationally every day. Many of my peers, Lauren, when I went to UNC Chapel Hill, who were Black, just like me and you, right? Mm-hmm. They were taught going into the front end of freshman year, keep your eyes open, you know, get those grades, get that degree. I expect you to go to medical school or law school or PhD. And also, if you want the traditional model, and that's a big if, this is going to be the best time to be surrounded by the highest concentration of Black men that are also pursuing the educational and fiscal model that you are and you desire. And it's really no more or less than that.
I don't disagree with that second
hold on
part
one
of
second,
the
guys. Hold on one second, ladies. We gotta take a break, so we'll come back and we'll.
So all these women did the same thing. They went to school. They found a husband. Guess what happened next? Dun, 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 dun. This is the part they never talk about. He goes on to proceed to womanize, give her STDs, make her have children she doesn't want because abortion was actually illegal back in those days. And it was actually up to the husband's permission if the wife could abort her child through one of these back alley abortion people that usually killed the woman and the child. There wasn't really any contraceptives known that we use today, but they did have condoms. They always did. And there was this funny potion. I can't remember it now, and I really wish my granny was here to explain to me how it went, because she took it several times to get rid of children. And there were different plants that they would take, like Orlando, but very specific recipe, because that should have killed you. And they would get rid of those kids. And then guess what? Then the dude would damn near beat them to death because him trying to baby trap them wasn't going along the way he wanted it to do. So, to add it up and make it short, she's trying to convince you of stuff that is very old hat, but has the same consequences of what we see every day in Black women's lives who are not married to dudes, whether they got money or not. The physical abuse, which usually ends up in our time now, Black femicide. The physical and sexual abuse of children that usually ends up in child homicide. She's not slick. Every time she presents an argument, she does it as a lawyer. So there's really no winning, because they're taught in school. I'm not a lawyer, I never went to school for law, but they're taught in whatever mock training classes they have, right, for mood court and etc., how to persuade, how to say things in a way that are not really directly what it is they're saying, without them being direct as they should be to get the point across, to make you think they're saying something, but that's really not what they're saying. She exhibits all of that. And when you watch that Breakfast Club interview with her in its entirety, she also talks about that as well. So basically, she's kind of like telling on herself when she's doing these things after she doubles down on it, because she's reiterating and letting you know that, yeah, I'm fucking around with y'all. I'm making all these inflammatory statements to get you to hear me, get you to see me, get you to keep talking about me, and then I'm going to tell you why. And when she tells you why, it's not to insult you. It's to confirm that, yeah, she's doing this shit to stay relevant. So that's why I say cancel her ass, be done with her, let her go about her business, and y'all get back to doing you. Get the blackmail shit out your mind, because you know it's going nowhere. We got like 10 channels on YouTube where you can go and literally count and listen to how horrifically women and children that are Black are killed in the most horrendous, horrific ways every day if you'd like to. Okay? On Black Girl Unlost, American Crime, True Crime, Twisted Crime, Leah Gordon's channel, and Every 8 Hours, I think is the other lady's channel. That's 5. There's so many more out there, right? And the thing is, nobody's talking about that. And what gets me kind of upset is that when Ebony is trying to push young black girls who are supposed to be in college, when we all know all age black women are in college, even people older than me, younger than me, the same age as me, they're all in college, getting their degree for the first time, furthering the degrees that they have, or just going in there to, I don't know, like just have something to do. There are really people like that in college. I ran into a few of them. I couldn't believe the shit, but it's true. Like, there are people who really don't have nothing to do in their lives, so they take a class or two in the local college, and they have no intention of graduating or getting a degree. They just want to go in there for the knowledge. Think I'm playing? Go in there and ask people what everybody's doing. If you're lucky enough, you're going to come across those people the way I did. I literally was looking at them like, why are you in here? Why are you doing that? And they would literally tell me, I just want to learn. It is what it is, right? So she is all about entertainment, all about keeping her purse fat, keeping herself relevant, and this is the way she's doing it. And I don't know who that that doctor lady is that she has talking about black women's marketability. Somebody need to tell her about. I'm not even gonna say that. That's in poor taste. Okay, let me just back off that lady, because she don't need to be telling black women about anything about themselves until after she starts with, completes, and finishes with herself. She has a lot to be desired. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you completely unfortunate talking about other black women? Are you crazy? But okay. So back to it, right? Ebony is messing around. She's the biggest troll probably of this entire century, okay? She's trolling. But don't fall for it, okay? Because she may be trolling and you may think she's serious about what she's saying. You get into that situation and you're going to be dead. You're going to be beat to death, or beat damn near to death. Why would you do it? See, the thing she's missing out, and she's not adding into this whole little formula of hers and what she's doing to troll us to death, is that no matter how much money these black dudes make, because with her, she's always only talking about the black guys. It would be different if she would say men, right? And specifically say all races of men you would have access to. Then she would be right. Then every woman that is really about black women's empowerment and black women getting out of poverty would agree with her. But she's not doing that. She's talking specifically about black males. Now, here's the kicker. These black males don't have anyone teaching them to be men, right? They're being socialized to just be black. And that's not good enough, because they still have anger issues. They still have impulse control issues. No matter how smart they are with schoolwork and the retention of studying to pass tests and to get whatever degree they get, they still have emotional immaturity. I cannot tell you the amount of people I have gone to school with, worked with, done all types of different situations socially with them concerning professionalism, and the males were always the biggest freaking babies in the room, the biggest selfish, egotistical, arrogant pieces of trash in the room. And whenever they couldn't get their way, they used their power to hurt every woman they could that was their subordinate. So she's not thinking about any of that, and she's not talking about that. That's very real. And then these guys, depending on who they are and what households they come out of in these colleges, they're bringing all the baggage from their home. Like, the reason I kept bringing up Tessa Thompson is because I want you guys to really watch those two movies so you can get the background of what I'm saying. In Sylvie's Love, Tessa was one of those women. She followed with her light, bright, damn near white mother, one of my other favorite actresses, my girl from the original Sparkle, Lynetta McGee was her mama, right? In that one, was explaining to her, go to college, learn, but also get a boyfriend, then get a husband. She did that, right? Okay. She was in a very unfulfilling marriage, a very controlling marriage, a marriage that was like literally suffocating her to the point where she had to leave it, and she started cheating on her husband. She ended up eventually getting with the person of her dreams, which is why the movie's entitled Sylvie's Love, right? The very one that her mother or father didn't want her to be with. She ended up with him at the end of the movie. Go watch the movie. It really was good. When you get back to Passing, same shit. In this one, Tessa is a black woman passing as a white woman, as well as her girlfriend from her hometown, which is how people like me and other southern people that come to the north, we see people from where we're from, and it's not a commercial place. We refer to them as homegirl or homeboy, right? Even though they were saying that in New York, it originally comes from the South. It literally means a boy or girl from my hometown, which is why they say homegirl, homeboy. All right, anyway, back to it, right? A little colloquial lesson. In that same movie, in Passing, same thing for both of them. They were told, get somebody who's either white and rich or who's in college, rich, going to be rich, and that's what you do. Both of them listened. One got a rich white dude that actually thought she was white, but he did realize that she did not look white like everybody else. And he used to make fun playing, like it seemed like every day you get darker and darker, it's like you're really a black person. But yeah, he caught on that she wasn't and threw her ass out of a window and killed her. Go watch the movie, it's really good. But now with Tessa, her husband was a little bit more, I would say, bearable, but he still had his little issues with him too, where he was very controlling, because her as the mom, she really had no control over her kids, who were boys who were really disrespectful to their mother because of their father. This is all of the stuff, the backstory to all this nonsense Ebony is pushing, that you will inherit if you do what she's telling you. And not to mention, right, you're giving up your youth for a possibility, for a maybe at best, but definite misery in every situation, in every scenario, because it's a black person. We have been taught in this country, indoctrinated, had this stuff ingrained in us, self-hate. And the dysfunction is real. We see it every day on YouTube, and how these dudes come on here and chop us down, try to make us feel inhuman, belittle us, berate us, demean us, all that shit, just because they feel bad about themselves. And since they can't do it to the white man and white people who are doing shit to them, then I'm gonna be a tough guy and beat down on black women and children and kill both of them. We see this shit all the time. So she is not trolling us hard enough, because we can see through the bullshit. Right? You got to do better at it, Ebony. Your trolling is not good enough. But now, you're going to always have black women on this YouTube always trying to keep what she said going and try to keep lives going, because they make money off of black women's misery. They make money off of black women being impoverished. They make money off of black women being helpless and hopeless. That's how they make their money. So they'll have 25 lives off of one fucking quote, one conversation, and one dumbass woman trolling, and destroy 1 million fucking lives. That's what they do. And guess what? They don't care about what they're doing to you. So my question to you is, when you gonna start to care? And tell Ebony, go fuck yourself. And tell all the rest of them, take those lives and do something else with them, because I ain't interested in it. All right, y'all have a good night. And please go watch Sylvie's Love and Passing, both done by Tessa Thompson. You're going to really enjoy those movies, and you're going to really see what is going to be coming and what the background and setup is to all of that. Going and get married while you're in college to somebody who's young like you, and y'all gonna do the right thing because you're both two education-minded black elites with money and just out there going to conquer the world. There's somebody gonna get conquered, all right, and it ain't gonna be the world, it's gonna be you. That's the thing they always leave out. These dudes are high-strung, they young, they got all that testosterone pumping through their body. They ready to put your head through a wall, put their fist through the wall, break your neck, step on your neck, your back. Child, so many things have happened. Speaking of stepping on necks, right? I was watching one of those black femicide channels, and do you know it was a black male who actually killed his girlfriend the same way Derek Chauvin killed Floyd, the black dude that got killed by the dude pressing on his neck and choking him to death like that. He literally killed his girlfriend like that. Okay? So keep all that in mind when y'all listening to Ebony and worrying about her trolling and taking her ridiculous ass seriously, instead of doing like I do. When you hear her talk, turn the channel off. Turn the TV off, because Ebony's trying to make money, and unfortunately at the expense of black women. You ever notice how none of her trolling and none of her catchy little phrases and conversations and suggestions as to what black people should do are never focused directly on black males? It's always focused on black women, because guess what? We are the ones everybody in the world feels like they can exploit, because we are supposed to be the mules of the world. And when we say we're not going to be, then it stops. So I don't know when y'all gonna get ready to tell Ebony, my girl, this is gonna stop, and literally make it stop. If you don't watch the Griot, you don't tune into her podcast, you don't stupidly buy her book the way I did, okay? She goes bye-bye into the fucking abyss of unforgotten and who gives a fuck about you anymore celebrities. Send her ass sailing, okay? Anyway, black women, let me get to take my dogs out. Y'all have a good night. You be well. Think about what I'm saying, and please watch those movies. Even if you don't care about the connection between Dumb Ebony and the comments she made in this video, it's just a nice movie. 2 nice movies to watch about real black history. I'm telling you, you're going to really enjoy it. Okay? Good night. Be well. Kisses.